What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV, and in this video, I want to ask you guys a question. Who do you think is the better offensive weapon, James Harden or Stephen Curry? It's not as clear cut or as easy a decision as some people might think. When it comes to just creating your own shot, clearly the advantage goes to James Harden. His ability to get open, create space, is one of the best in NBA history. I give him that. His step back is absolutely lethal. Curry is not bad at creating his own shot, but he thrives in the pick and roll. He thrives when others are setting screens for him. I really think this freedom of movement rule that the NBA implemented this past offseason was clearly designed to help a guy like him out. And, when it comes to that aspect of it, shot creativity, creating your own shot, Harden has the clear advantage. When it comes to efficiency, I think the advantage goes to Curry. Now, I understand that Harden takes a lot of three-pointers, so that is partially why he only shoots about 44% from the floor. But Curry takes just as many, if not more, three-pointers and shoots a much higher percentage. Now, you could argue that some of that comes from the fact that he plays on a team with a lot of other great offensive players and the spacing helps him. I understand that point completely. But Curry, ever since he came to the league, has always been a guy that shot about, I would say, over 46% from the floor, usually between 47 and 49% from the floor. I think the MVP year, the second MVP year, I think he shot about 50% from the floor. So to shoot that many three-pointers as he does, and to shoot that higher percentage from three, and to still shoot overall close to 50% is unreal. Like I said, he's the greatest three-point shooter I've ever seen in my life. I think right now, I haven't looked it up yet, but I think he's fourth all-time in three-pointers, or he's past Jason Terry, because he was right behind Jason Terry. He might have passed Jason Terry last game, I'm not sure. But if he hasn't, he's about to pass Jason Terry. And if he does, that means he'll be third all-time in three-pointers made. And I'm going to tell you something right now. When it comes to attempted, he's way down that list. So if you got a guy that's third all-time in three-pointers made, but he's like maybe 11th in attempted or something like that, that shows you how efficient he is. That means he's taking less three-pointers than all these other guys that are in the same area that he is. You know what I'm saying? Like the argument's the other way. If you got a guy who is, say, 12th all-time in three-pointers made, but in attempts he's like fourth or something like that, then that tells you he's not percentage-wise an efficient three-point shooter. He's taking a lot of threes to get his buckets, like an Antoine Walker, who, curiously enough, in this era probably be more lauded. I remember Walker would have a season where he shot 39% from the floor, 33% from three-point range, or 34% from three-point range, and maybe 63% from the line. And we used to chastise him for that. That's very inefficient, man. But in this era, I think Walker would thrive. Less physical era. But anyway, when it comes to efficiency, I think Curry has the clear advantage. Harden is a great three-point shooter. He usually shoots between 38 to 41% from beyond the arc, which is a great percentage. Curry is a historic three-point shooter. He's probably in the top 3 to 4 when it comes to career percentage. And the difference between him and the other guys, like Steve Kerr and maybe Hubert Davis, should be up there. Those guys were bench players, catch and shoot guys. Okay. Curry, the degree of difficulty, the amount of three-pointers he takes, the type of defenses that he makes, the type of defenses that he faces, the type of shots that he put up and still makes, it's rather unprecedented. Well, I'm not sold on calling him the greatest shooter, but I can understand some people say that. But there's a great argument for it. A great argument. He's definitely the greatest long range and the greatest three-point shooter I've ever seen, all right? What other aspects of it should I be talking about? Scoring, mid-range. Probably advantage Curry, maybe. Curry, one of my subscribers made a good point. Curry is a little bit inconsistent with that. Some years he has great years shooting from mid-range, and then there's some years where he's a little bit subpar. James Harden, I guess maybe a little bit beneath Curry when it comes to his mid-range. Probably a little bit below average. But like I said, Harden is much better at creating his own shot. Driving to the basket, creating room, separation. Harden is, of course, a little bit bigger than Curry. Maybe slightly more explosive, although he's not Vince Carter or anything like that, but he's a little bit more explosive, a little bit better scoring toward the rim, although Curry is good at that, especially considering he's a point guard. Harden's better at getting to the foul line. I think he's the best I've seen at getting to the foul line in his generation. I remember Iverson took a lot of free throws during his time, but Iverson genuinely got beat up a lot. You know what I'm saying? Iverson genuinely got fouled hard. Harden just has a knack for creating just a little bit of contact to get to the foul line. And I think he's the best that I've seen at that since at least Karl Malone. And like I said, Karl Malone was physical. The closest I can compare as far as his ability to get to the foul line is Adrian Dantley. Dantley used to get to the foul line a lot. There were years, I think there was one year where Dantley won the scoring title where he had more free throws made than field goals made, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was one year, I'm going off memory, but I think it was one year, might have been 83, 84. I think Dantley had like 802, someone can fact check me, I think he had 802 field goals or something like that and 813 made free throws. That's sick. That's nuts. But although Harden's better at getting to the foul line on an accumulative basis, Curry's actually a better free throw shooter too, although both of them are great. Harden, I think, is like a career 85% foul shooter. Curry is one of the top 3 free throw shooters in NBA history. For a while, Curry had, for the second time that I could count, he had moved ahead of Steve Nash and became the greatest free throw shooter in NBA history at 90.5%. He was shooting at a 94% clip. He's dropped down a little bit. He's missed a few. He's now 91% for the year. That's dropped his career percentage down to 90.39%. And with that, he drops fractionally behind Steve Nash. I think he's fractionally ahead of Mark Price. So like he's the second, basically he's like one of the top 3 free throw shooters of all time behind, in the same conversation with Steve Nash and Mark Price. And these two guys are 2 of the greatest shooters of all time. So it's basically the same with these 2 dudes. It's like the shooter versus the scorer argument. I lean toward Curry because I think during this tear, Harden's had a lot of games where he's put up a lot of points, but he's had a lot of games where he shot 14 or 32, 15 or 35, 9 for 28, 10 of 27 or something like that, right? I think if Curry were to take that many shots on a nightly basis, I think if you give Stephen Curry 35 shots and 20 3-point attempts every night, I think he comes away with, unless he's having a really bad night, I think he comes away with more than 35 points. Okay? I think he comes away with 45 to 50 points if he's taking that many shots. So I lean toward Curry, but tell me what you guys think.